My baby had passed out. His dad quickly pressed the emergency buzzer. Maybe like 12 people rushed in. And they're like, what is it? I was like, Theo, he's not responding. The next phase after that 72 hours was he was going to go and have a brain MRI scan. Because now they need to ascertain what level of damage has been done to his brain. So this is a continuation of my previous story, and at this point Hugh has been born. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just watch the video before this one. I'm talking about my birth, the birth of my baby, and how everything happened, where he ended up being in hospital for a few more days before we were able to go home. So yeah, I did the pushing, the crying, the screaming. It was horrible, and finally birthed my baby. It was so beautiful. He had a lot of hair. They put him on my chest. I was just enjoying it. But I've had a lot of gas and air, and that thing makes you a bit woozy. So I know I'm in and out. I know I'm in the room, then I doze off, but then he's on me, so I'm a bit cautious. Anyway, the nurses start stitching me up. So while they're stitching me up, baby is on my body. He'll be crying a bit. I'll be petting him. His dad was right next to me. And yeah, that went on for like an hour or so. And then one of the midwives came and like, oh, I think it's time for baby to breastfeed and for him to latch. So I'm still lying on the bed and they try and get baby on the boobies. However, I'm not alert, okay? I'm not actively looking at him. He's there, but I'm like in my own world, so to speak. I wasn't actively paying attention to him. And so in the middle of that, my husband will talk and then he'll say I'll, doze off and then I'll come back. But he's just watching us. And so I think, I don't know if it's me who looked down first and just realized, my baby wasn't moving, or my husband had, tried to get his attention, because already we started playing with him and tried to get his attention, and we didn't get any response. So I removed him from the breast and tried to look at him. His body was flat. He just went like that. I was like, Theo! Theo is his name, by the way. I was like, Theo! And then his dad quickly pressed the emergency buzzer, because he'd seen the midwife press it one of the times when I was in the labor ward, when they had come to see baby's heart was dropping and if they should take me in for the theater. So my husband had seen when one of the midwives had pressed that and the number of doctors that rushed in. So he quickly pressed that and maybe like 12 people rushed in. And they're like, what is it? I was like, Theo, he's not responding. That's how they took him from me. And somewhere on the side, they had like a baby thing. They put him and they were using the oxygen. My baby had passed out. My baby had passed out. Oh, God. So they were trying and trying and trying. My husband came and hugged me. He's like, it's okay, don't worry. I was just like, is my baby okay? What's happening to my baby? Is my baby okay? Nobody was answering. No, I'm not gonna cry because you got the victory. Oh, it's a lot. Anyway, they took him out, and I was just there. I was in a pool of blood. I was in pain. It was just, women, we go through a lot. God, we actually go through a lot. Anyway, so they take him out and they start resuscitating him, but thankfully he comes back. like, you know, it took them nearly 8 minutes or 10 minutes to get him breathing again. I don't even know why I'm crying. Like, why am I even crying? Anyway, it's just because it's bringing these memories. And so they say, because it took them that long and they don't even know how long it'd been on me before he passed out, that they're gonna have to give him the kind of treatment that they give to people who have drowned, children who have drowned. And what does that treatment entail? They're going to cool your body and literally slow down your body metabolism, so your brain is not working, because in that situation you don't know what kind of damage has happened to baby's brain. It's been without oxygen for how long? Goodness gracious, you guys, the worst could have happened. Anyway, and they're like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen, and that treatment is for 72 hours. So for 72 hours they're gonna cool him down. They're gonna wear him like a cooling jacket, like freeze. Oh boy. So as little as he is, they start fiddling with his body, you know, putting IV lines through his navel, doing procedures here and there. This baby is barely 5 hours old. They had not even taken his, like, they had not read, the nurses had not come and say, what's his name? Nothing. There's no tag on baby to say this is baby Theo. Nothing had been done at that time. So they start coming to collect information from us. What's his name? And when I think he was stable, they said I could come and see him. At that point, actually, when the issue happened and they were taking him out, my husband followed. So anyway, he came back and told me Theo is getting himself. So he started to, we now got the whole information, and they told us, in fact, that hospital where we are, they can't look after him because what's happened to him is level 2 trauma, and they only do level 1 trauma in that hospital. So we're going to have to go to the bigger hospital where they can look after him. So they're going to bring an ambulance. So they brought an ambulance him, and God, like, I don't, for a bit I watched the ambulance team. You know, I don't know if I can do this, guys. I think I'm not as coordinated as I would have hoped. I'm not as coordinated as I would have hoped. I don't know if I should carry on, because every detail I want to give you guys and I think about, it's taking me to a place where I don't think I'm happy, because I saw the ambulance, like, God, they had this, goodness. Anyway, let me just say, they removed all the lines he was connected to and did their own connections. Then they covered him. They took him to the other hospital, so they had to discharge me from that hospital to the other one. So they got a bed ready for me there as well. Anyway, yeah, for the next 3 days he was in that cooling thing. And sometimes I blame myself. I keep saying, what if I just allowed them to do this years when they came? When I was already 9 centimeters and they said they wanted to do this. allow them. Now my baby had such, I don't know, tiredness or whatever it had been, and now he's just too tired, and it was so much because I couldn't even walk. My husband would wheel me from my ward, and then would go upstairs, and then we'll see if you will be there for a bit. His eyes were always closed. He wouldn't interact, and then they were saying all these things. Seizures, no seizures. It was just such a trying time. But thank God for our community, because I never felt alone. Everyone just always so encouraging, always so loving, so caring of us. They'll bring us food, they'll check care. My friends, there was always someone with me. It was so nice to know. Anyway, I think 72 hours passed. Sometimes we'll go, they'll be like, oh, he coded, and but he's stable now, and you know, we just stay in. And then my milk wasn't coming. It's just a lot. Anyway, I'll just fast forward. I honestly would have loved to give you guys more detail, but I don't think I'm able to. As much as I would have loved to, I don't think I'm able to, because so much went on. And the kind of reports we were getting, the fact that my son is alive, meeting all his milestones and surpassing them, is the biggest testimony. Because from what we've heard, people come out of these kind of situations and they're like vegetables. The brain's gone. They can't function. Let me not even jump ahead of myself. I'm getting there. So after the 72 hours and they removed the treatment, so they slowly, very slowly warmed up his body again, you know, started taking out all the morphine, all those things that they'd given him, started to wear out. My baby's face was so swollen, there was so much fluid in him. He was able to, you know, open his eyes. I was saying, "You are your mommy." I'll be crying. So the next phase after that 72 hours was he was going to go and have a brain MRI scan, because now he's had trauma. He's had no oxygen to his brain for a long time. They need to ascertain what level of damage has been done to his brain. I couldn't go with them for that test, because I was bawling my eyes out. What's going to happen to my child? What's going to happen to my child? But my husband and I, we kept declaring that Theo is perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Theo is perfect and entire, wanting nothing. In our church that year, 2025, it was the year of completion. We said there will be nothing missing, there will be nothing broken, he'll be complete. So they went for the test, the scan, the MRI scan. They did everything and they came back. So they said the test was gonna take 2 days. I think they did it on a Friday, so it was gonna come out on a weekend, you know, throughout the weekend, and then on a Monday. So on Monday the result comes out, and I think for me this is the biggest thing. Theo's brain was perfect. Nothing missing, nothing wrong, nothing broken. It's been perfect. I couldn't contain my joy. I was so thankful to God. God was so gracious to us, even despite my silliness and whatever. God was so merciful. So he'd been having feeding tube, and so they said if once they can ascertain he can feed, like breastfeed on his own, they will take out the tube. So we were now like kind of in a waiting game for Theo to be okay to feed. So I started trying, you know, all that time he was in hospital, we couldn't feed obviously. I'll try to extract. I was barely getting anything, barely. That was such a difficult journey. Nobody told me breastfeeding could be this difficult. So yeah, I started practicing breastfeeding him again, holding him, you know, such a fragile little boy. And I think one of the nights they're like, you know what, he's really okay and he doesn't need to be in the NICU anymore. Let him come sleep next to you, like in your ward, and we would observe him as well. I was so happy. I was like, we're getting close, we're getting close. And so he comes, and then they come check in on him, and then they go. In the night, just middle of the night or so, I woke up and the feeding tube is out. I panicked. I called for the nurse. Somebody came. The same one that came and checked on it. She was like, when I came a few minutes ago, this was one. I was like, yes, it was in. Like, we don't know what happened. And they found out that he had pulled it out himself. Bro was like, get this thing out of me, man. I just want my milk. And the lady was like, okay, well, if he's taking it out himself, then let's just see how he gets on with his feeding, and then we'll take it from there. And so I fed him. He was able to feed and latch, and yeah, it was painful. It was when his mouth gets in there, it's almost like fire. But I'd rather that too. I'd rather that. Anyway, he ate, and the next day we were discharged. Glory! From that day to today, I've not had any cause to rush you to hospital to say, oh, he's not breathing, oh, this. He's been fine. In fact, as part of the procedure for what happened to him, he's meant to be seeing a doctor till he's 2. They signed him up for physiotherapy. When we go there, like, there's nothing to do. He's doing well. And so he's just been a testimony of God's grace and mercy and goodness upon our lives. And I just had to share this testimony, because if not for God's grace and his mercy, I don't know what would have happened to my child. He could have died straight away. We could have woken up from that situation being brain dead, or his brain not functioning. Could have come up with something. In fact, see, sometimes when the doctors come, they will say something. Oh, his pupils are not dilated. I say, Kenny, are you people trying to tell me my child will be blind? Oh, this is like this. Oh, this like this. Whose reports would you believe? I knew for a fact that Theo was perfect and entire, wanting nothing, and the word of God came through over his life. And so Theo is doing well today. At the minute, he's 10 months and he's literally standing, cruising around, trying to work. He's blabbing, he's saying banana, he's saying mama, he's saying papa. He's doing so well. He's healthy, he's cute, he's handsome, he's everything. He's just a normal, perfect baby. And so this is what God did for me and my husband and our family, and I'm forever grateful to God. And don't be like me. If you're in that situation where they need to intervene to help you and your baby, please accept it. This mindset of I must push, I think it's done more harm than good. And I'm just so grateful to God for his mercy. You think you are educated, so this kind of things will not affect you, but somehow you know, there's just that subtle notion that people make you feel like you haven't done well because you had, you know, your baby through surgery. But that's a lie from the pit of hell. And I was telling my husband that if I was to get pregnant again and they say to me, we will induce you, I'll say, please show me where the theater is. I will use my own leg and walk in there, because I've learned. And I just want to thank God for his mercy. I hope this testimony blessed you and encouraged you and uplifted your faith. I tried as much as I could to get out what I needed to get out. I don't think I got everything out, but that's just how much that's just how far I could go. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. My name is BA. I film about faith, lifestyle, relationship and everything I find interesting. If that sounds like something up your alley, then please consider subscribing. But if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for stopping by once again. You don't know how this testimony will bless the next person, so please do well to share, and I'll see you in my next one. Kisses. Bye.